Helo, croeso. Dwi'n cael newid y mood lighting fi. Dyna de. Mood lighting. Croeso i episode 4. Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars. Reforged. Dal i the thing na, lle dwi'n sbio fanna. Mae chat fi fanna. Dwi'n cofio. Helps os ydych yn y chat. Iawn, lle oedd yn ei tyd wytha? Ysbyty. Iawn. So. Recap. Oh. Okay. Panad. Cael panad. Espresso yn Paris. Mae boi na di marw a mae lle mae'n chwythu fyny. Nes i rhedeg ar ôl y clown yn fanna. Un ffordd. Hwn nath lladd y boi o gwisgo fe'n clown. Fo ydy'r clown a mae wedi dwy'n y briefcase. Hwn oedd y Taylor nath gyda enw i fi. Nath i cyfarfod yn yr hotel a ddim manager cael hwn. Manuscript. Ond i os ydych chi'n cael sgwennu manuscript, dwi'n mwyn gwybod digon am hynna. Wedyn, hwn yw'r unig bit o'r gem, dwi'n lyfio gema, beth dwi'n syglo. O darllen hwn, dwi'n randomly yn mynd i ffocin Werddon. Werddon, fel bod Werddon edrych. A Pegram. Da i'n poeni am Pegram fan. Mi oedd i ffindio y gem yna. Ond yn ganol nos, oedd o'n mynd yn missing. Hwn yw'r boi o clown, sy'n cymryd ti eisiau thing ni efo. O, Werddon. I fewn i'r castell. Si tanglo got. Fewn i'r secret room. Dwi'n nôl yn Paris rwan. Dwi'n efo'r gem. Dwi'n gwybod lle mae'r tripod. O ia, mae'r ced yn siwan yn hospital. Oce.
Hey, Benoit.
Hey, Benoit. Benoit yn trainee doctor.
There's no need to shout. What do you want?
Does this gem mean anything to you?
Not me, sir.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, monsieur. I've never seen him before.
Shake my hand.
Shake my hand, Benoit.
I don't think that's a good idea, sir.
How come?
Dermatitis.
Well, I don't have dermatitis.
I do.
Oh.
Does this false nose mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
What does this tissue mean to you?
Is that a nasal discharge, sir?
No, it's grease paint.
A stick.
What does this tool suggest to you?
Isn't that used to snap the patient's ribs when exploring the abdomen?
I hope not. Have you ever heard of the Club Alamat?
No, sir.
No, go iawn o blaen, back in the day.
Have you ever heard of a guy named Merlin?
No, sir.
Okay, ta...
See you later.
Right.
Stick fel...
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Is this the Hagenmeyer Clinic?
That's correct.
I thought I was in a garden center.
Oh, the plans. They were my idea. A little greenery to evoke the spirit of nature. How may I help you?
Ti ddim French. Clown.
Has Marquet been visited by a
I'm still
man in a
going
clown
home.
costume?
Oh, no.
You haven't seen a man in disguise?
Well, there's Theodore the Bear, He comes every Thursday to entertain the children. Personally, I think he scares them half to death in that crummy old bear suit. If I was stuck on my back with tubes in every orifice, he's the last person I'd want to see.
Good coffee.
Has Marquet had a visit from a pair of gangsters?
Gangsters.
I should hope not. Can you describe them?
A thin guy who looks like a weasel and his friend, the gorilla.
Sounds as if they escaped from a zoo.
I'm here to see Jacques Marquet.
Oh, yes. Are you related to our client, sir?
Oh, I did include that.
No, I'm conducting a private investigation.
On that.
Then I can't help you.
So, do I get to see Marquet before the funeral?
That attitude will get you nowhere. My instructions were quite clear. No one gets to see Marquet. So unless you can prove you're a relative or a close acquaintance, you're wasting your time here.
Have you seen this man here at the clinic?
No, sir. And I never forget a face.
Shake my hand.
I'd like to shake you by the hand.
Don't be fresh, young man.
Look at this ID pass.
So you're Merlin. Marquet's been asking for you.
For me?
Yes. He was shouting your name when they brought him in here. Now, let me see.
Oh, look at
He was on Ward B12, as I recall. Oh, he's being transferred to... Oh, dear. He's on Ward J2. That's... Nurse Grendel's ward.
No! Goodness, Canto.
What's so bad about Nurse Grendel?
She runs that ward like a South American prison.
Whoa.
Keeping a well-disciplined ward isn't a crime, is it?
Well-disciplined. In the discipline and punishment stakes, she'd whip the butt off the Marquis de Sade. Everything, I mean everything, is done to a strict routine.
Not sure about
6
that.
o'clock, alarm falls. 6:10, bowel movement, and woe betide anyone who doesn't have a result. Those patients of hers are like Pavlova's dogs.
She sounds like a real nightmare.
And then some.
If Nurse Grendel is that bad, how come the authorities tolerate her?
Yeah, that's all.
She's like part of the furniture.
Oh, you mean she's been here a long time?
No, I mean there's not a man in this clinic who hasn't sprawled out on her.
I was beginning to get the picture. This woman was jealous, with a big green capital J. How do I find Nurse Grendel's ward?
Down the corridor on the left, turn right at the senior consultant's washroom. Right again at the executive coffee lounge. Bear left past the administrator's sauna. And turn left at the end. That's J2. And good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for your help, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Doctor.
Hi, my name's George Stovard.
Really? If you wish to make an appointment, see the receptionist.
Shake my hand.
May I have the honor of shaking you by the
Yes, fun.
hand?
You may not. I don't encourage physical contact between my staff.
What's that?
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, sir, I do not.
Does the name Thomas Merlin mean anything to you?
No, it does not.
Die. Fuck off. Okay.
Thanks for your help.
Fan är mindre man. Som inte. Few minutes later. Fan. Sådär.
As I turned the corner, I saw the source of the hellish noise which echoed through the corridors. It was an industrial polishing machine with an odd-looking guy in tow.
Ja, men inte för. Det kan vara inte. Själva var det inte så.
Hello.
What's that?
I said hello.
Oh, hiya.
I'd like to talk to you for a minute.
That's what I thought you said. Don't look so down in the mouth. No matter how bad things seem, I never let life get on top of me.
Oh, yeah? What's your secret?
Why, it's easy. All you have to do is smile and whistle this little tune.
You know what? If you start whistling, I'll bust you in the teeth.
Whoa.
It's a deal.
Have you seen any unsavory characters lurking about in the quarters?
No, sir, I haven't. But I've got nothing to worry about. What's that, Mr. Shiny? You'd take good care of the rascals, I'll bet you would. With
What
a
the
friend
hell
like
is going
him,
on here?
I've no fear of
Oh
oppressors.
my god, weet je wat
It
daar
must be
fucking...
a great comfort.
He is.
Weet je wat daar big screen is fucking eentjes daar. Ah, ze hebben kwatsja wie wil, man. Shit.
Would Mr. Shiny be your polishing machine by any chance?
Please, don't call him that. He's more of a friend than a machine. I've had Mr. Shiny for 3 years, and he's never let me down once.
What the hell?
How come you got so attached to a polishing machine?
I asked you not to call him that. He's got a name, you know.
Yeah, Mr. Shiny. It's just that...
You think
I don't
it's odd,
think
don't
that
you?
just go and
No,
carry out
I,
the
uh,
objects.
I don't mind. The rest of the staff think I'm twisted. I heard them snorking behind me back when I gave Mr. Shiny his weekly pull through.
Whatever you've got with this metal mopfoot is probably a fine and noble thing.
It is. Say, it's not every day I meet someone as crazy as me.
Do you know where I'd find a patient called Marquet?
No, I'm not allowed on the wards with Mr. Shiny.
Is it just a knall?
Do you know a nurse called Grendel?
Sure I do.
Is she on duty today?
Yeah, end of the corridor, ward J2.
Ja. Wait a minute.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Who is it?
That's what I'm asking you. Have you seen him before?
How should I know? You haven't told me who he is.
Take a look at the photo.
Yeah, okay.
Now, have you seen him before?
No,
Shake my hand.
Would you like to shake my hand?
not until I'm washed, if you don't mind, sir. You can pick up all kinds of things in a hospital.
Like nurses, right?
No, sir. Bugs and germs. And fungal infections.
See you later.
Yeah. Hey now, you can't go in there.
How come?
I'm responsible for the contents of that cupboard.
Okay.
As I tugged the plug out of the socket, the polishing machine coughed, spluttered, and died. Mr. Shiny, what's wrong, pal?
Doe maar gauw. Yes! Doing! What are you doing, Robert?
Dr. Stobart at your service.
Dit is zo weer. Doing dat.
Hello.
Oh, hi! No whistling, right?
Right. Nothing real.
Dan gaan we door.
Maybe the face of the unaccountably happy domestic had made me unduly suspicious.
What?
I mean, I knew it was only my imagination, but the water tasted, well, peculiar.
det plaster Paris nu då? Few minutes later. What? What's that? Few minutes later. Hur fuck blev du in? Oh crap. What the? Oh.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Oh, hi. Is this Ward J2?
Yes, sir. The patients are ready for your inspection, Doctor.
Thank you, nurse. Well, who's first?
Monsieur Croquet in bed 2.
What's his problem?
He's been complaining of loss of consciousness. You'll need this, Doctor.
She gave me a long, narrow metal box and a stunning smile. Thanks. Hi, I'm Dr. Stobart.
Pantus is name kid.
Hello, Doctor.
The nurse told me you keep losing consciousness.
That's right. I've had the problem as long as I can remember. It's a real out-of-body experience. Like death, but not so conclusive.
I see. How long does it last?
Just a fraction of a second, and then I recover.
I might not have been a doctor, but I was formulating a diagnosis all the same. This guy was nuts. I know exactly what you mean. It's known in the medical field as blinking.
Is it serious?
Of course it isn't serious. It's perfectly natural.
What?
But just think, 2 seconds every minute. Why, that's almost half an hour every day. 2 weeks out of every year spent in total darkness.
Well,
I don't have
pizza.
time to listen to this baloney. Which bed is Marquet in?
He's round the corner, in solitary.
What's the matter with him?
I don't know, but the men who brought him in were wearing masks and rubber gloves. Hey, you're a doctor. How come you don't know?
We doctors
Thanks,
don't know
Will.
everything.
Then how come you act like you do?
Has Marquet had any visitors?
Nah, neither have I. That's the worst thing about being in hospital. You feel like the rest of the world has abandoned you.
Well, you know how it is. Life goes on.
Thanks for those comforting words.
Weet je maar science nog really crap hun?
Do you know what this piece of equipment is called?
No, I don't.
Hamsten. Go the boy
Do
man.
you recognize the man in this photograph?
Nah, Doctor. Who is it?
A cold-blooded killer.
One of your colleagues?
No,
Hey, good.
he really is a murderer.
I've never seen him before.
Well, goodbye and good luck.
Thanks, Doc.
Hello again. Do you know what this piece of equipment is called?
No,
Oh, they must go.
The poor guy's temperature had been up and down like a white knuckle ride. No wonder he looked so sick.
Okay. Scan delta.
Could you take a look at the client in bed number 3 now? His name is Eric Sopmarsh.
What's his problem?
He's delirious. He just now came out of theater. He's recovering from major surgery.
I'll have him up and about before you can say, Lazarus, get out of your bed and walk. Hello? Anybody home?
Who are you?
My name is Dr. Stobart, and I'm here to steer you down the rocky road to recovery.
Dr. Monroe said there was no cure for what I've got.
Your problem is you stayed in bed too long.
Are you sure you're a qualified doctor?
No.
You better believe it. What's your impression of Nurse Grendel?
She's a very efficient young woman.
Efficient? You make her sound like a vacuum cleaner.
I've no complaints.
What?
The woman in reception described Nurse Grendel as a monster.
Well, that's simply not true. She's quite strict, but that's her job, isn't it? You've got to have discipline in a place like this.
What can you tell me about Marquet?
He's the man in the private room, isn't he? That room was mine before I was tossed out like a common squatter.
Do you know what's wrong with Marquet?
They won't even say what's wrong with me. Tell me, Doctor, what's your opinion?
It's too early to say.
But I've been here for 3 months.
I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Why?
I'm a doctor. It's my job.
Shake my hands.
I thought about giving him an electric shock, but I just couldn't do that to a sick guy. Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, Doctor. Who is it?
A cold-blooded killer.
Stop Pagolo.
Really?
Oh my god. Put it
He's a
casually.
dead ringer for my bank manager. Of course, Mr. Soames hasn't got a scar, and he doesn't come from the Middle East. His hair's a lot grayer, too. Otherwise, it's just like him.
Remarkable. See you later.
Doctor?
What is it now, nurse?
Number 2 again. He won't tell me what he wants. He says he'll only talk to a man.
Do I have to? That guy's nuts.
Doctor, I'm surprised at you.
Yeah.
There's no way to talk about our clients.
Okay, I'll see him.
Clients?
But I'm telling you, he's a hypochondriac. Hello again. Have you any idea what this is?
Please, take it away before I throw up.
Do you know what this tool is used for?
Eye surgery.
That's a dumb thing to say. It's not sharp enough.
Dickhead.
Do you recognize this red nose?
Nah, I don't.
I thought about giving him an electric shock,
One.
but I just couldn't do that to a sick guy.
Cheers.
Have you ever heard of the Club Alamut?
Nah, I haven't.
Have you heard of a guy called Merlin?
Merlin.
No, Doctor.
Does this gem mean anything to you?
No, Doctor.
Do you know what this is?
Is it self-raising flour?
No. Do you know what this piece of equipment is called?
No, I don't.
Well, goodbye and good luck.
Thanks, Doc.
Come on.
The graph showed a steady decline in his pulse rate and an increase in his blood pressure. It kind of shook me to see this guy's life reduced to a few jagged lines.
What? Clone. It's a clone.
Do you have any clowns on the ward?
Why, yes, we do. A professional clown.
I'll bet he lightens the place up.
Hardly. Monsieur Boissy has been in a coma for the last 3 months.
Oh my god.
What's wrong with Boissy?
He was involved in a very nasty accident. A silly stunt involving a unicycle. His current condition is due to post-traumatic shock. It's unlikely he'll ever perform as a clown again.
Cyclones.
It's an ill wind that blows nobody any good.
Cyclones.
Do you have a patient named Marquet on this ward?
Oui, monsieur. He is in the private room at the end of the ward. He has been placed in strict isolation.
Why is Marquet in quarantine?
If you wish to know more, you'll have to speak to Herr Hagenmeier. All I know is that Marquet's room is strictly out of bounds.
Wil je Herr Hackenmeier?
Do you know who paid for Marquet's room?
No, of course I don't.
Preferential treatment like that must cost an arm and a leg.
That's not my concern, monsieur.
Die hospital zit echt wel in. Die hospital wel heen erbij. Is er iets oor?
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Doctor,
What is it?
Tisha.
you haven't taken my blood pressure.
Dus toestel, dat kan. Is je niet, dan is je met bloedpressures toestel. Is je specifically going to get a sure.
Seems fine to me.
You're not doing it right.
Of course I am.
No, you're not. Dr. Monroe never did it like that.
I can't take a satisfactory reading while you're excited like this. I'll come back later.
Good one. Mensen illegal fucking malpractice things doing it everyone.
Oh, Doc,
Oh my god!
What now?
you didn't finish taking my blood pressure.
Okay, let's try again.
In bed.
You don't have the first idea what you're doing, do you?
Oh.
I'll come back when you've recovered your manners. His temperature was normal, with little fluctuation either way.
Continue though.
Pardon me, nurse.
Oui, monsieur?
What is this device?
It's for taking the patient's blood pressure, doctor.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Toen die stap je weer aan die en die. Ah!
You haven't finished taking my blood pressure.
Weet je wat die niet doen, maar?
Will you keep quiet? You're disturbing the other patients.
I'll keep quiet when you've taken my blood pressure properly.
I have to see Jacques Marquet first.
How come he gets preferential treatment?
How?
It's because he's got money, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not like that. I'll come back when you've dealt with that chip on your shoulder.
I'm reading it, 100% in reading it.
You haven't finished taking my blood pressure.
What the hell? Biff, wat niet doen, maar?
Will you keep quiet?
Game health. You need a second opinion. Gelukkig dwi angen siarad efo un o doctors yn ffrant yma. Hynna, dia?
Hey, Benoit.
Come on.
Yes, sir?
Do you know the nurse on Ward J2?
No, miss. This is my first day here. I can't wait to get my hands dirty.
Oh, that's it?
I was talking about treating my first patient, of course. I didn't mean to get my hands dirty with a nurse.
God. Calm down.
What do you know about this piece of equipment?
It's a device for measuring the blood pressure.
Iawn, ti ddim yn fi ta.
See you later.
Right.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, okay.
You must be the new boy.
Yeah, I must be.
Well, stop wandering about and make yourself useful. Bunny, come here, boy.
Whoa.
This is Benoit, my nephew. Can I trust you to look after him?
Do your own babysitting, Gramps.
Nah.
Who do you think you are, anyhow?
I am Felix Hagenmeyer.
And may I say what an honor it is to meet you in person, sir. You are on my medical wall of fame. Right up there with Pasteur and Leary. I look on it as a privilege, no, an honor, to look after your nephew, sir.
He is fresh out of medical school. It will open his eyes to see a real
Yeah.
doctor on the job.
Die pobl sy'n medical
bet.
school ddim yn
Show
actually
him
yn hospital.
around. Let him see some real suffering.
Look what Nurse Grendel gave me, sir.
Ah, yes, very good. I'm glad to see you're carrying it with you. It reassures the public to see the medical profession using traditional archaic tools.
So long, Hagenmeyer. Hey, Benoit.
There's no need to shout. What do you want?
Let's go.
Forget it.
Let's go.
Thank you, nurse.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Ooh, that's not weird.
Hi, it's me again. I'm going to take your blood pressure.
Why? I'm a doctor.
What?
It's my job.
See you later.
Bad coding, am I? Very bad coding.
You haven't finished taking my blood pressure.
Hell? What the hell? You're having a laugh.
Will you keep quiet? You're disturbing the other patients. Hey, Benoit.
Zit nog die een...
Yes, sir?
Gewoon.
Here, take this pressure gauge.
Yes!
Thank you, sir. What do you want me to do with it?
Well, keep it safe until I think of something. Are you ready with that pressure gauge?
Prime and ready to pump, sir. What do you want me to do with it?
Use it on Eric Sopmarsh.
Okay.
Yes, let's go.
I'm Dr. Stobart.
Bonjour, doctor.
Let me in.
Have you heard of a guy called Marquet?
He's in quarantine, doc, right behind this here door.
Marquet is just the man I wanted to see.
I wouldn't go in there if I was you. He has anthrax.
What the hell? Anthrax.
Have you seen any suspicious characters on the
Anthrax.
ward?
Yeah, I have.
A gorilla and a weasel?
No, this was a tatty old bear.
How was the bear acting suspiciously?
Well, he was wearing a homburg.
Is that against the law?
No, but it's pretty weird for a bear.
Fair enough.
Don't you think it's possible that the bear was a man in disguise?
Well, obviously, I'm not completely stupid. But who would go to the bother of disguising himself as a bear? It's not as if he'd blend in with the surroundings. I checked with base to see if any bears had been reported missing from the zoo or a traveling circus. They told me to sit tight until reinforcements arrive. I guess they're right. I'd be stupid to tackle a bear single-handed.
Fair enough. Doe zo'n tylko voor per.
I have to visit my patient.
What for?
Routine. I have to check he's still breathing.
What if he's not?
I'll sign the certificate and register his bed as vacant.
That's a cold and distant attitude to death.
Well, I've been institutionalized to the point of godlike aloofness.
The white coat suits you.
Thanks.
Shake my hand.
Would you like to shake hands?
What for?
As a gesture of goodwill.
On reflection, no.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, I have never seen him before.
Stick.
What do you think this tool is used for?
Branding mice without bending down.
Catch you later.
Au revoir.
Oh,
If you see...
Hello again.
Bonjour.
Going?
Do you recognize this?
Don't get cute with me.
What does this tissue say?
It looks as if it has been used to wipe Satan's bottom.
I hate to say it, but you could be right. Catch you later, officer.
Au revoir, Doc.
The bear. Vrienden.
Rather you than me, pal.
Hey, Stef, gauw. Blynyddoedd yn ôl. Oh, shit. Dwi'n boi anthrax. Do. Mwyn y te.
On the top of the chart was his
Ugain
name,
mlynedd ers fi chwarae fo dwi'n
Jacques Marquet. I didn't need to be a doctor to read the
Dwi'n cofio'r
graphs.
stori-ish,
Marquet was dying.
ond dwi ddim yn cofio'r stwff
I
extra.
figured Marquet's life depended on those bottles,
Sut i
so I decided not to disturb them.
Be dwi'n joio hwn ydy, ti'n gallu pwysio tab, a ti'n gallu mynd. Efo'r hen still. O, still na fydd. Hen.
Marquet?
Yes, I am Marquet. I've been expecting you.
You have?
Well, what are you waiting for? Get it over with.
What?
I just want to know what I should do with the gem.
The Lamar gem.
Yeah, right here in my pocket.
Hans gaat dit zo?
I thought you were one of the assassins.
Not me. I never inhaled.
So, you were sent in my place?
Yeah. You could hardly make the trip to Ireland in your condition. What should I do with the gem?
Deliver it to the Grandmaster quickly. Tell him that I have found the tripod right here in Paris.
You have it?
Not yet, but it's been taken care of. I hired a couple of stooges with a flair for petty crime.
Would that be Flap and Guido by any chance?
You know them?
We've met. What about the Hashashin?
Assassin.
Is more likely to have followed Klausner. He'll stop at nothing to prevent
Sword.
the reforging
Broken sword.
of the sword.
And that's bad, is it?
As for Klausner, he has gone off to Syria on a wild goose chase.
They have geese in Syria?
What?
He has a theory about the location of
That's enough excitement for one day, Monsieur Marquet. What are you doing here?
Talking to this patient, of course.
Monsieur Marquet is my patient. Herr Hagenmeier was to hear that.
Okay, I'm going. I'd learned all I could from Marquet anyhow.
Tijd voor F off. You're doing lots of crime here.
There you are, sir. I was just coming to look for you.
Oh.
I finished with your pressure gauge.
Okay.
Thanks, Bunny.
What's that noise? It sounds as if someone's having a cardiac arrest.
It's all right. The doctor's in there with him.
Mae marw. Mae'r ce marw. No.
Are you sure he was a doctor?
Oui, monsieur. He showed me his ID. It was Dr. Braille.
There's no Dr. Braille working here.
He's an imposter.
Dwi'n imposter.
The door's locked. Help me, officer.
Stand back, monsieur.
Boi yma literally mewn 5 munud di gadael 2 imposter i fo. No. Fucking bad.
I found Jacques Marquet.
Did he talk?
Yeah, he talked. For the very last time.
He's dead.
Yes.
Yeah, killed in cold blood by a bogus doctor.
That's despicable.
Only in bogus
What
doctor,
kind of
hefyd.
guy would pass himself off as a doctor and take advantage of a dying man? Was it Khan?
No, I don't know who he was, but it certainly wasn't Khan. He got away, out the window. Do you think the assassin was responsible for killing Marquet?
I don't think so. He could have finished him off the first time. Besides, Marquet would have recognized him.
He was pumped to the gills with sedatives. He wouldn't have recognized the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse unless they'd introduced themselves. Have you ever heard of the Hashiashin?
No.
Shin.
Marquet said that they were his biggest enemy.
His biggest enemy was the bogus doctor.
Don't remind me. That guy was evil. He had wild, staring eyes like a dead fish.
What?
I'll never trust a doctor again.
What?
Let's take another look at the manuscript.
What?
That's the tripod in the Crew Museum. That's the gem that Pegram found in Lochmarn. Can you think of any use for this?
That's a thing for measuring blood pressure, isn't it?
Yes.
What are you doing with that?
I picked it up in the hospital. It could be useful.
You ought to take it back. Don't you feel guilty?
No. I guess I'd better go back and talk to that weirdo.
Which one, Rosso or Sergeant Moo? Oh, but you're referring to Andre.
I'll let you work it out.
Pwy di Andre? Pa'n oedd Andre? Ydw i'n mynd o'n? Police station. Police station. Bonjour!
Excuse me.
What do you want now?
Have you ever heard of the Hashashin, Sergeant?
Assassin.
What was that?
The cult of the assassins.
What are you trying to say?
Assassin's
Sobat?
Creed.
That the
I
clown
hwn ydi'r
is a
Assassin's
member
Creed
of that
gynta.
cult.
I see. And what proofs do you have?
Proof? I arrived at my conclusion through logical deduction and...
Pseudo-intellectual people. Leave the investigation of crime to those who know best. The police.
Is Rosso here?
Yes, he is. You wish to speak to him?
Yes, please.
Yes, I do.
Oui.
One moment, monsieur.
Oui.
It's Stobart, monsieur. He insists on talking to you again.
Insist.
Thank you, Moo. What now, monsieur?
Didn't they hwn back in the day?
No.
Oh, no. How dwi'n mynd siarad efo fam?
So long, Inspector.
Dwi angen mynd nôl i'r museum? mae hwnna edrych fath o trash. Mae hwnna edrych yn da. Dwi'n gwrs. Mae'n cofio hyn, ie. Dwi'n licio fod Iwerddon yn lle ti'n mynd, ysgol ddim llun. Mae'n jyst llun bwy poli. Bonjour. Okay. Let's go. Let's go.
You have left it very late, monsieur.
Late for what?
Anything? I am closing the museum soon. You wouldn't like to get locked in. I can tell you. Not in this gallery.
Why not?
It is haunted, monsieur.
You don't believe in ghosts, surely.
Oh, yes, I do. 7 years ago, a lad managed to hide in here. He'd made a bet with his friends, I suppose. When I found him in the morning, he was cold as ice and stiff as a board.
Well, what was the cause of death?
They said it was a brain tumor. But on his face was a look of stark, desperate terror such as I have never seen before.
Scary. Forget it.
Man. Speak with man.
I beg your pardon. Are you André Lobineau?
That's me. You want my autograph?
No. I was told you may be able to help me.
Help?
My name is George Stobart. I'd like your professional opinion.
Well, okay. Shoot.
What do you make of this?
It's the biggest gemstone I've ever seen. Where did you get it?
From Professor Pegram's messenger boy.
Pegram? Professor Nigel Pegram? He's in Ireland, investigating a Templar site, isn't he?
He was, until he disappeared.
Did Pegram find this on his dig?
Yeah, the site where this was found was a Templar castle. Do you think it could be part of the Templar treasure?
No, I shouldn't think so. You're not one of those crazies who think the Templars still exist, are you?
Well, I try to keep an open mind on the matter.
Okay.
I think you ought to know that the tripod is going to be stolen.
The Lochman tripod? No.
It's true. I can give you a description of the thieves.
Before the supposed event has taken place?
I heard them planning the raid.
They're wasting their time. The tripod is protected by a state-of-the-art alarm system.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you.
Yeah.
Why don't you loan the tripod to me for safekeeping?
George,
because I'd never see it again.
Yeah. But don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust, George. That tripod is hundreds of years old and extremely fragile.
I get your point.
Nuts.
Have you ever heard of the Hashashin?
Hashashin.
Why, yes. It was a radical Muslim sect whose name became synonymous with murder. It was formed in 11th century Persia, shortly before the Crusades.
At roughly the same time as the Templars.
Yes.
What?
They gave a new word to our language. Assassini. The assassins.
What?
How did the assassins get their name?
From the legends surrounding the secrets of their initiation rites. A young man who sought to join the sect was given hashish until he drifted into dreams. He awoke to find himself in a fabulous garden with everything he could wish for. The freshest water, the most delicious food, the choicest hash, and the most delectable women imaginable.
What?
Cool. Do you have the address?
I haven't finished the story. There was a price to pay for this taste of paradise.
Wouldn't you just know it?
The young man would wake the next day to find himself back in the real world. He was told that he'd been given a glimpse of the heaven reserved for holy martyrs. A heaven he would enjoy for eternity if he was willing to join the Hashashin.
Hashashin.
How did the assassins operate?
Well, as I explained, the new recruits would be only too willing to die for the cause. They'd be instructed in the use of the dagger, poisons, and disguise. Then the Grand Master of the sect would name an enemy of Allah.
And they'd stop at nothing to eliminate that enemy.
You got it. They were fearless and deadly.
Does the cult of the assassins still exist?
Take a look around at the world today. You tell me.
Ooh.
Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Oh, back in the summer, July, I think.
The second week of July?
Maybe. Yes, it was, just before Bastille Day.
Bastille.
So Pegram was in Paris at the same time as the other victims.
Pardon? Victims of what?
Nothing. Just thinking aloud.
Murder!
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure, it was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
A public toilet?
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches,
What?
each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Okay.
Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
Revolution.
What can you tell me about Philippe le Bel?
He was responsible for the extermination of the Knights Templar.
I know that, but why was Philip so hot to get rid of them?
Mostly because he wanted to get his hands on their treasure. He had an enormous debt and a lifelong war with England to fund. The trouble was, the Templars were a highly respected holy order.
Okay.
If the Templars were so powerful, how did this Philippe dude wipe them out?
By underhanded, dishonorable means, of course.
What?
The Pope was Clement V, a Frenchman.
French, huh? Handy for Philippe.
Fate had nothing to do with it. He was Philippe's puppet, planted to further his political ambitions. Philippe wanted the wealth of the Templars and used Clement to get it.
So what was Philippe's plan? What happened?
Sealed orders were sent out all over France, not to be opened until the appointed day. That day was Friday, July 13th. That's the origin of our superstition regarding that date. At dawn, throughout the whole of France, the Templars were arrested. It was the biggest bust in the history of the world.
What happened to the Templars after their arrest?
Philippe was out for blood, so he handed the Templars over to the Inquisition. Not surprisingly, they confessed to a sensational and sordid list of blasphemies.
Like what?
Oh, the sort of things you read about in the gutter press.
That's fake news.
Devil worship, lewd sexual practices, spitting on the Holy Cross, that kind of thing.
Well, that must have given their lawyers some headaches.
Whether or not the accusations were true, this was not good publicity. Most of the charges were probably cooked up, but so were the Templars. Literally. Hundreds of them were found guilty of heresy and flamed grilled at the stake. They died protesting their innocence.
Philippe and
But surely Philippe had no proof of his charges against the Templars.
A man will admit anything under torture. The Inquisition fabricated some nonsensical demon called Baphomet, and then suggested to the victims that this was what they worshipped.
But they didn't have to agree.
The records show a Templar coming to trial with both feet burnt off. Fragments of flesh and charred bone falling from the stumps.
Ew.
What would you not admit to stop such torment?
So there was no truth at all in the Baphomet accusations?
Not a shred. Almost every victim described the idol differently. No, Baphomet never existed outside the sick minds of the Inquisitors.
What? What?
So Philippe stole the Templars' riches, huh?
Oh no, they weren't stupid. The king's troops marched first on the temple in Paris, then to the Templar home port at La Rochelle. There was no trace of the treasure, and the fleet of the Knights Templar had set sail.
Dwi'n mynd i rhedeg ad a fyddai be right back. See you in a bit. Bonjour. Bonjour. Oce. Llywyd ni. Y boi yma ddim yn dysgu ni am hanes assassins a Templars. A Philippe.
I'd like your opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment, do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much, only a few Latin phrases. I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Yeah.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of two men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar. Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar?
I sure can, Georgie.
Georgie.
Soldiers, diplomats, mercenaries, monks, bankers, you name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting force in Christendom, the militia of Christ.
Jeez. How did the Templars get their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters. The King of Jerusalem gave them part of a mosque on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon. The order became known first as the Knights of the Temple, and later as the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of information, Andre.
And his job,
Glad to be of help, Georgie.
Yeah.
How come the Templars became so wealthy?
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order.
The
The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in fact. The poor Knights of Christ became the wealthiest power in Christendom.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Or, if it does, the truth has never been made public.
What do you mean by that?
Until Da
The
Vinci
Templars
Code was
have
released.
attained mythological
And Assassin's
status,
Creed 1,
like
2,
the
3.
King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Do you think that's likely?
No, not for a minute.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah, not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll come round and take a look.
I'm not so sure about that. Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman. Maybe it was my imagination, but I noticed a predatory look in his eye. Suddenly, this friendly historian had turned into the big bad wolf.
Huh?
This friend, who has the manuscript,
Oui, the anonymous girlfriend.
she lives at 361 Rue Jarry.
Ah, I know it well. I'll drop by.
Nes i literally
Just
ddod
as
efo
soon
cael
as I
mynd,
can.
cos fi'n o'n weird, a nes i straight there wedyn. Shake my hand.
I'd like to shake you by the hand, Andre.
Not now, Georgie.
Georgie. Ti gwybod boi yma?
Does the guy in this photograph look familiar to you?
No,
Thanks for your help, Andre.
you're welcome.
Ti di fod lle mae'n cau, fan.
Don't even think of climbing in them. You'll be suffocated.
I always wondered how it felt to be a mummy.
Look away. Gosh, gosh. Dwi'n gorau disgwyl i person yma. Be, dwi'n jyst yn sefyll yma, nid yn byd, be ti'n feddwl? Dwi'n meddwl. Don't smoke.
Do you have a fetish about closet?
Okay.
I just love the smell of mothballs, I guess.
Yeah, good. Look, mynd I fe yma, go iawn yma, mae'n lle neis. Mae hwnna lle newydd yndi, ond ai... Just a heads up. Iddi fod wedi neud adresu I 47 mil. Just a heads up.
Hi.
Hello, George.
Hello, George. Bonjour.
Labino explained who the Hashashin were.
Yeah?
The cult of the assassins.
Oh, boy.
Have you found out any more about the Knights Templar?
Yes, I have. The guy responsible for the downfall was Philip IV, the King of France, otherwise known as Philippe le Bel.
I've heard of him.
Well, he is known to history as Philippe the Fair, but I doubt if the Templars called him that. I'm sure André will tell you all about him.
André wedi.
I have to go.
Okay.
I have to go.
Good luck.
Hwna very much di dweud mewn attitude oedd angen dump. Goodbye. No chemistry. Wyt ti'n gallu...
Oh, hi.
Hello, my handsome friend.
Hello, my handsome friend.
Have you seen anyone out here watching Mademoiselle Collard's apartment?
Yes, I have. A strange man, tall and thin as a broomstick. He kept his face hidden, but I saw his eyes peering from evil little slits.
How was he dressed?
A long brown raincoat with a hat.
Or like Humphrey Bogart?
Yes, but he didn't have Bogart's charisma. Besides, this guy looked like he needed a toilet. You never saw Bogart clenching his buttocks like that.
Okay.
See you later.
That's...
Dwi angen warnio hi? Dwi'n meddwl mynd i'r tŷ, fe. Mae fama yn... Mae fama yn...
In French, English, and German, it read, in 1312, Pope Clement V dissolved the Knightly Order of the Templars and excommunicated its members on charges of heresy. In the following 2 years, many of the knights were hanged on this site. Their Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was burnt at the stake on an island in the Seine. Excuse me, officer.
And how may I help you?
Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or something?
You have seen the Parisian traffic, no?
Yeah, so?
I could direct the traffic. The most dangerous, the east side of Rome. Or I can sit here and enjoy the sun, the architecture, and the Sauvignon. Which would you choose?
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman. What happened to duty?
An excellent question, monsieur.
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. Only that they were excommunicated in 1312 and hanged in their dozens within this very square.
Boy, what they teach in the police academy these days.
No, monsieur.
I read it on that board over there.
Good one. Shake my hand.
Would you like to shake? I stopped myself barely in time. Electrocuting a cop would not have been smart.
Fair
They'd
enough.
rebuild the Bastille just so they could throw me in and throw away the key.
Have you seen this man?
Have you seen this man before?
No. Who is it?
I believe him to be an international assassin.
Oh,
Is that all you can say? Oh!
I did wonder if I should say that I believe you to be an international paranoiac, but it didn't seem polite.
Fair enough. Got played.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur.
Oui, monsieur.
I'll be there.
Oui, monsieur. Then we'll come to the cafe.
A typically Parisian sidewalk cafe. Last time I visited one of those, it blew up. I decided...
Ga jou. Oké, dan doe ik eens jullie baanhoofd in. Zit de boy man. Yes! Oh,
Hey, hey, you. What do you think you are doing?
okay.
Leave that comer alone. Now.
Sorry,
Back up.
no harm intended.
You stay away from that.
Fair enough. Oh, oh.
There was no water to frolic about in, and the leaf mold that was collecting there just wasn't the same somehow.
Ja, maar... Oeh. Huh?
Waiting in prayer for the judgment day.
Ja. Het graag.
Biblical references engraved into the tomb edge to guide his way to the next world. I guess.
Ja. Een very
Just
tabbing
think.
shit dan.
There's a dead guy under there.
Bij jou?
I was surprised Philip Lebel had left this place alone. The statue had any secrets. It was concealing them pretty well.
Yeah.
I wondered if this guy had died in combat. Carrying all that armor around must have been hard work.
Ooh.
I didn't recognize the biblical story in it. I was a Sunday school dropout.
Ik doe het niet, doe maar.
I didn't have time to sit around. A row of old pews, beautifully carved and glowing with polish. I thought of all the people who must have sat here over the decades. All those Parisian derrieres, firm buttocks of the young ladies, the
What?
flabby flesh of the old men. That wasn't a pleasing image, so I went back to the young ladies.
Waarom zeg je niet?
Whoa!
Ja, ik doe het niet, necessarily. But... Falling. Like that. Uzi. Okay. Zit we in? Okay, but I should know them with it. Een beetje zitjes kwagen we wel heen. Die man. Wie moet op benen?
Hi, André.
Hey André.
Hello, Georgie.
Georgie.
Thanks for your help. You're welcome.
The
Yes.
rod turned smoothly, and the window above me opened. Pardon me.
Oui, monsieur?
Forget it.
Forget it, mate. Bit of a done.
High above me was a window.
Okay.
The window was wide open.
So,
He was a thin-faced, pallid guy with a questionable taste in out.
okay, so pan mae o'n weindio hwnna fyny, allai mynd I fewn I hwnna. That. Okay. Okay. So. Come on, di gau hwnna on. Os gwelwch yn dda. Yes! Hollol logical and in sense.
It is closing time, Monsieur Lobineau.
Already, there just aren't enough hours in the day.
More than enough for me. I can't wait to get home and put my feet up.
Eh bien, see you tomorrow.
Good night, monsieur.
Sbio stwff ti'n neud fan. Okay. Dim checks. Just. Oh, dyle fi di safio. Oedd hwn yn dod fyny. Ooh.
Hey, Guido! Look at this!
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here
Get
and
your
bring
ass
that
over here.
flashlight.
Where's the pizza? I am Italian. You safio. So still. Okay, beth dwi fod yn neud fan mor. Hit with a stick.
Oh, Guido!
What's the big idea, you dummy? Shine the light down here.
The mummy! It's come alive!
If that's the mommy, I'm glad I'm an orphan.
Whoa. Whoa! Whoa! What? Ah, mae lot gwell fel o. Okay, mae hwnna haws I weld. Mae'n lot mwy impressive o fama fel o, sbia?
Oh, Guido!
Oh, no,
What's the
shit.
big idea, you
The mummy! It's come alive!
No.
If that's the mommy, I'm glad I'm an orphan.
Beth yn syth i fi? Ti'n syth i fi heb dim... What? Okay, beth dwi fod I neud fan mor? O, sio hwnna.
What the... Who's there?
Let's get out of here!
Wow, ydw i'n lladd nhw? Oh my god, beth yw'n nesfa?
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily, I managed to persuade Rosso I was innocent.
Poor
Sid.
George.
Sid
What
took
a
it.
mess. I bungled the whole thing.
I don't think so. You made a pretty good job of distracting those two crooks.
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
Neither.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one who can dress up in costume.
What?
You mean it was you who stole the tripod? Oh, hell,
Dan
Nico.
ni, waar sta je
I
dan
could have
niet?
been shot.
Het is een mooie
Those
damage.
dogs are more likely to shoot their own feet.
I just
They
wish
do
you'd
more
told me your
damage to
plans. We're
than their
supposed to
parents
be in this
again, but-
together. But how come you dressed up like a pantomime cat?
Don't sulk, Georgie, please.
Oh, rats. And don't call me Georgie.
Oh, I really thought you'd be pleased. After all, we've got the tripod. Aren't you going to try putting the gem on the tripod?
I guess so. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
The gem fits perfectly, but what does that prove?
Oh, let me just come with the tape.
Maybe the tripod has to be in a certain location.
There's nothing on the manuscript to indicate where, though, is there?
Oh, by the way, I had a visit from André Lobineau.
Oh, yeah. I hope you didn't mind me giving him your address.
Not at all. It was lovely to see him again.
What?
He was over the moon when I showed him the manuscript. It's not often he gets that excited. He made a sketch of the knight's crest to take back to the museum. I believe he's identified the family who bear that crest.
I sure hope so.
Net bij die gilid. What?
Let's take another look at the manuscript. That's the tripod we borrowed from the museum.
Stole.
That's the gem that Pegram found in Lochmarn. There's a guy with a sword and a bull. Between them is a gem supported by a tripod. I have to go.
Already? You only just arrived.
Time and tide wait for no man.
Okay, I'll see you later.
Oh, okay. Okay, fuck off. I don't care. Smell a squint, better.
Oh, hi.
Hello, my handsome friend.
Hello, my handsome friend.
See you later.
Wat doen die
That's right,
Paris?
monsieur.
En wie
You
smells?
will.
You go with niet. Going Halloween handsome friend. That's the plan. Muziek. Back to the scene of the crime. They'll never suspect me.
Hi, Andre.
Hello, Georgie.
Georgie?
What's with the long face?
Haven't you heard? The tripod was stolen.
No kidding.
I just don't get it. So many other treasures, and the thieves choose the tripod.
Yes.
A modern-day alchemist, perhaps?
Who knows? There's no shortage of crazies in Paris.
Ooh, what?
Hey, I visited Nicole's apartment.
Yeah, she told me you came by.
Ooh, quite a fine Georgie boy.
What?
I didn't expect anything quite so sexy.
I hope you're referring to the manuscript.
Oui, of course.
Dirty man. Dirty, dirty. You think that's a typo though?
Oh, Andre,
Oui.
what would you say if I told you I knew who'd taken the tripod?
I'd call the police and have them arrested.
That's what I thought.
Who was it?
Oh, I don't know, really. It was just a hypothetical question.
That's too bad. If I could get my hands on the thief, I'd wring his neck.
What did you make of the manuscript?
It dates from the time of the Crusades.
We guessed that from the Templar seal.
It's a story in pictures like a modern-day comic book.
What story does the manuscript tell?
I don't know. It was probably produced for the tourist market.
Tourists?
What?
Oh, we pilgrims in their thousands on their way to
Okay.
Jerusalem. The tourist trade is nothing new, you know. It's been around for centuries. Ever since Joshua made a packet selling souvenir bricks from the walls of Jericho.
Have you deciphered any of the images on the manuscript?
There's very little I can be sure about. The slang of the bull could be a reference to Mithras,
Who's he?
a Persian god, almost as popular as Christ at one time. The only thing I can be sure of is the knight. He's Spanish.
How can you tell that?
The writing on the shield, the reference to Ave Maria. No self-respecting knight from Northern Europe would have borne a coat of arms like that.
Ooh.
Can you identify the knight's coat of arms?
I already did, Georgie. He's
Spain.
a member of the De Vasconcelos family from the Costa Calida.
Were they famous?
No, they're not mentioned after the 15th century.
Ooh.
Oh.
The spotlight of history moved on. They're probably long dead.
Yeah.
Do you think the manuscript could be the map to the Templar treasure?
Frankly, no. That's too far-fetched. The manuscript is interesting enough and a rare find, but that's all.
Wouldn't it be terrific if it was a map, though? The treasure of the Knights Templar.
Calm down.
A romantic notion, Georgie, but
Georgie.
extremely improbable.
Yeah.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Okay. Lle dwi wedi fynd wan? Oh my god. Uh, Dobra. Okay. Dobra. Dobra. Ydw i cymryd i Spain wan? Yay, Spain! Let's go. Let's randomly go to Spain. Whoa, dyma'n barod. Dwi erioed i bod yn Spain. Ai fel hyn ma Spain? Bo. Cool, then. Dwi'n enjoyo'r ffaith bydd y caring gyd o'r fi. Hello, Espanol. S. Gardener.
Hi. Is this the De Vasconcelos house?
Who wants to know?
I could tell the old coot was going to be trouble. My name's George Stobart. I was wondering whether...
The house is not open to the public.
This is the De Vasconcelos house.
And what business is that of yours, senor?
Look, all I want is to speak to the head of the household.
There is no household. Only the Countess and myself.
My Countess.
Tell me about the Countess de Vasconcelos.
She doesn't receive guests. That's all you need to know.
You don't even know what I have to talk to her about.
She hasn't won the lottery, has she?
Nah.
No, she hasn't won the lottery.
A more cunning man might have claimed that she had.
Oh, yeah? They might have, might they?
And that more cunning man would have been kicked off the premises.
Okay.
The Countess doesn't do the lottery.
Dobra. Okay na.
What do you know about the Templars?
Who wants to know?
Are you angling for a bribe or something?
You have nothing that I want, senor, except the pleasure of your absence.
The guy was obviously protecting the Countess against the whole world. But why? Okay. Well, I'll see you around.
Adios.
Ga maar niet door, kwaaierte. Assume that they will.
Hey, you.
Yeah? What is it?
You would not like it if people just wandered into your home, would you?
Well, no, I guess not.
Then show a little consideration.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, tu
I didn't like the idea of carrying 30 yards of hose around me, so I left it alone.
Tu bene de mama. Not that. We yeah. No, vänta. My chat. Okej. Vi direi hon Anova. We wachten carry hon weer. Hard sparren of pijn.
My horse has stopped.
Yeah?
See, my horse never stops.
Well, I'm sorry to hear it. It's always sad when an old tradition comes to an end.
Did you have anything to do with it?
Yes.
See, you.
Well, I'm shocked. I'm mortified. How could you think such a thing?
Very easily, senor. Very easily. I'm going to find out why my horse has stopped. And that means going into the house. You are not, absolutely not, to go in the house. If you do go in the house, I will set the dogs on you.
Okay. Okay. In the house. Oh, dwi'n cofio fo fel hyn pan i'n chwarae back in the day. Dwi'n cofio fo fel hyn. Let me in.
Rats. It's locked. The door was a handsome piece of work, in keeping with the ornateness of the rest of the building.
Yeah. Deze doet hij weer maar wit. Ja. Oh my god. Okay. Alright.
I'm no student of architecture, but the little building looked old. I wondered if it was some sort of summer house.
Okay, så blir det typ... Det går nog men det. Så vet. Shit, det hände. Just been doing it.
I hid behind the armor and waited for developments.
Hey, you. I know you are there, American.
What?
All right, you dogs. I'm coming.
I'm all going with now though. She doesn't even go with her. What the hell?
It was just a little utility room with no exit, unless you counted the window, and I didn't. I didn't want a pot plant.
Vinegar share. Let's start on old woman.
Madre Dios, who are you?
My name's George Stobart. I'm sorry to burst in like this.
You must leave at once. You're not wanted here.
Please, if you'd just listen a minute.
Very well. State your business, Senor Stobart.
There's been a series of murders, part of some conspiracy. Anyway, the trail led me here.
Here? There is nothing for the outside world here.
Over 600 years ago there was.
What do you mean?
What?
This whole thing ties in somehow with the Knights Templar.
The Knights Templar are dust.
They had a secret that was so important, they went to a lot of trouble to hide it.
I do not see what this has to do with my family.
Your family had a strong connection with the Templars, right? I believe that they have planted some clues here.
Why should I believe a complete stranger who barges into my home?
Yeah, enough.
Just let me have a look around. If I find nothing...
You'll be spending the night at the police station. Very well. Please,
Yeah.
sit down.
George, 100% in de rang av Emma.
I know your family is involved with the Templars, but I don't know how.
You should be asking how my family were involved, Senor Stobart. The Templars ceased to exist centuries ago. And as for the De Vasconcelos, the line dies with me.
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
Okay, whatever happened, happened almost 700 years ago.
Let it
So,
go, George.
if the Templars
Let
left
it
any
go.
clues, they're going to be in stuff that dates back to the early 14th century.
Obviously.
So, what do you have around here that's early medieval?
Early medieval. Let me think. Well, the house is relatively modern, a scant 3 centuries old. Or, of course, the chess set.
That chess set is over 600 years old? It must be worth a fortune.
Indeed it is. Not that I would part with it, of course.
No, I wouldn't either. That's the sort of thing that gets handed down to your children.
Oh.
Sorry.
Its value is less than you might think. The set is not complete. One of the pieces is a modern replacement. As to the original, it was lost a long time ago.
Nobody has any idea where it is?
No. The children had it when they were taken.
Children? What children?
All in good time, Senor Stobart.
May I examine the chess set?
Certainly. But do not move any of the pieces.
Okay, thanks. Close up, the modern piece stood out like a sore thumb. There was something else odd about the set. All of the original pieces had irregular bases.
My lady, I have to warn you, there's a... You! Why, I'll feed you to the dogs.
Yeah.
Lopez, what have I told you about feeding intruders to the dogs?
But, my lady...
Never without my permission. Senor Stobart, if I find that you're wasting my time, you will be fed to the dogs.
It's McCann,
Now,
innit?
I want to show you something interesting. Follow me.
Oh, yeah, I can do it, mate.
Lopez, unlock the door, por favor.
Por favor.
This is the only remaining structure on the estate contemporary with the Templars.
Nice. What is it, a summer house?
A mausoleum, Senor Stobart.
Oh,
Come with me.
Hey, senor.
yeah?
I do not know what you have told my lady to be shown these favors, but I do not trust you.
Fair enough.
You've got nothing to worry about. Aren't you coming in?
No, the dead do not interest me. My garden is a living thing. I will be there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay.
Wow, this is old.
It was constructed in the 13th century as the final resting place for the De Vasconcelos Templars.
It's well maintained.
These are my ancestors, and they deserve respect. I come here at least once a week to say a prayer for them.
Mind if I have a look around?
By all means.
Can I open these caskets of your dead relatives to find clues? Please. Por favor.
On removing the Bible, I found a pattern on the lectern top. Hey, it's a checkerboard. Close up, I could see that the pattern was made up of glass squares over a checkerboard pattern. Some of the squares had little jagged holes in the middle. Close up, I could see over some of the squares.
Yeah.
It was too delicate to move. Now what? There was nothing to snuff. Feeling like an idiot, I put it down again. I couldn't climb up there without breaking something. I couldn't reach up there. Hanging from the ceiling was a huge yellowed candle. It looked really old and had never been lit.
Okay, Paul.
Now what? Feeling like an idiot. May I ask you something?
You may ask.
Checkerboard.
What's the story with the glass chessboard?
Glass chessboard. Oh, the pattern on the lectern, purely decorative, I'm sure.
There are pieces of glass missing from it.
Oh, it has been like that since I was a girl.
The gaps in the glass chessboard look awfully deliberate.
No, it is ridiculous. What possible significance can it have?
It's part of a chessboard, and the gaps are for...
Senor Stobart. You cannot mean...
This place was built for the Templars. Your chess set is as old
Sut na
as the
fi sy'n
Templars.
ffigur hyn allan?
It's kind of suggestive, isn't it? I think this must be it. This is what the manuscript is pointing to.
This is extraordinary. Am I to understand that the Templars left a puzzle here?
Yeah.
And in all of this time, we failed to realize that there was a puzzle?
Am I stupid, por
It was
favor?
wonderful to watch the Countess change before my eyes.
Right. Well, no time for wallowing in self-pity, eh, Senor Stobart? This mystery has had a good long run, but it ends here and now.
What the fuck?
All those years of fatalism were falling away from her.
Lopez! Lopez! Put that hold down and listen!
Yeah.
Go to the house and get my chess set! Yes! The old chess set! Oh, damn the game! Now, hurry! My, this is exciting, is it not?
Don't
Yeah.
get too excited. This could be a blind alley.
Oh, I do not believe that for a moment.
It's good to see you happy.
Happy? You know,
You
I
literally
think I
will
am.
shower in 10 minutes. Doing...
That's a big candle. Where would you buy a thing like that from?
You
Uncle
could
Shaw.
not. It is an antique, unique to my knowledge.
Just how old is it?
It dates from the Middle Ages, when the Moors controlled Spain. The candle was to be lit as a signal to the estate workers if the Moors attacked.
Is the Virgin Mary really the right person to be sharing a mausoleum with 5 knights?
You are showing your ignorance, Senor Stobart. The Templars were dedicated to the Virgin Mary.
Yeah, fair enough.
You certainly know your history.
What's your opinion of the Templars, Senor Stobart?
The Templars? Well, they seem no worse than a lot of the knightly orders.
You are mistaken. Compared to the simpering politicians of the Hospitallers or the brutish Teutonics, the Knights Templar were the embodiment of chivalry. The filthy, money-grabbing French king and his pet pope did a great wrong. A bane settled upon my family
Ooh,
at
we're
the
gonna hit
whim
Chip
of that
Husker.
self-seeking tyrant.
It was all a long time ago.
Some things don't die. Injustice is one of them.
Really looking at that. Oh, okay. Tell me more about the Knight Templars. Thank you.
While we're waiting, I'd really like to know what happened here. I mean, the curse and everything?
It all began at the time
Curse.
of the dissolution of the Templars. Don Carlos had already left their ranks to become a scholar.
Don Carlos, is he the guy who went missing?
Si, but he had reckoned without the local bishop. The bishop envied us our lands and determined to use the papal edict as an excuse to destroy us.
Ooh.
Don Carlos was on one of his scholarly journeys when the Inquisition arrived. When Don Carlos returned, it was to find his loyal manservant slain and his children gone.
They took
What?
the kids? But why?
Oh, we will never know. The bishop denied all knowledge of the children's disappearance. But witnesses had seen his men kill the servant who had been charged to protect them.
What happened to Don Carlos?
He swore he'd find his children if he had to go to the edge of the world. He put on
America.
his armor and took up his sword and shield and rode out alone.
Oh.
He was never seen again. Lopez, you have the pieces.
See, my lady, as you asked.
Por favor, Senor Stobart, would you be so kind?
My lady,
Calm yourself, Lopez. I believe Senor Stobart's motives are pure.
very well, my lady. My lady seems to trust you.
But you don't.
No, senor.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It fits, Senor Stobart. It fits.
Working quickly, I
Okay.
found which pieces went into which holes.
Yes, nu går Bishop. Yes, nu går Bishop. Knight. King, innit? Oh, we've got a checkmate here. Hello? No, hello. Bishop top. Yeah. Yay! Checkmate. Holy Grail!
Senor Stobart, look.
What is that? It's not the Holy Grail, is it?
No, Senor Stobart. It is the communion chalice of the De Vasconcelos, missing for almost 700 years.
Wow. Well, go on.
I cannot. I can hardly believe it is real.
Go ahead. Live a little.
Are you sure? This is your moment of triumph, Senor Stobart.
Sure, I'm sure. The possibility of death traps only occurred to me a few days later.
Paid you flee and all. Paid you flee and all.
So the curse of the De Vasconcelos is lifted?
Oh no, the Countess was thrilled to find the lost chalice. But there's still the riddle of the missing knight.
Well, you can forget about that now and get back to finding the Templars' secret.
Actually, I promised the Countess I'd find Don Carlos.
You what?
I can explain everything.
You have got the odds for a withered old Spanish aristocrat?
The Countess entrusted me with the chalice and the quest for her ancestor's tomb.
You're as crazy as she is. Haven't you got enough problems? Khan and the Templars?
Being jealous.
It's all part of the same thing. The chalice is important, I'm sure. The manuscript pointed us to the knight, and I have to find him.
What then?
I don't know. But when the knight and the chalice are reunited, maybe I will.
Okay.
This is the chalice I discovered in Spain.
I still can't figure out why the Countess gave it to you.
Yeah, that'd be...
After losing it for all those years, she simply gave it away to a total stranger? She's one prawn short of a paella.
The Countess is a
Wow.
fine lady. You shouldn't compare her with seafood.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's something going on between you and that Countess.
Are you serious? She's old enough to be my grandmother.
Being properly jealous.
I have to go.
I have
Okay,
to
I'll see you later.
go. Ooh, yeah. I'm properly leaning over. Okay. Beard with the need one. So we have got help. No shame in it. What the hell's this? YouTube. Iawn, oce. So. Montfaucon. Montfaucon. Dwi'n di fan oes.
Hello again, officer.
Hello again, monsieur.
O, nyfod.
What does this chalice suggest to you?
Wine.
I'll see you around. Hey, you with the ball.
Cyclones.
Oui.
How did you learn to be a juggler?
Juggler? What is this juggler?
It's you. You juggle, that makes you a juggler.
No, I am a jongleur.
A jongler? What's that?
Mon Dieu. A jongleur is an artist, a master of the contragravitic aeroballetic mysteries. In centuries past, the courts of the crowned heads of Europe
Oh
and
my
the
god,
jongleurs,
Beth. Zo bij weer.
witty, erudite men to whom the monarchs turned in their hours of need.
Wait a minute, wait. Let me get this straight. Our enemies are at the borders, plague ravages the land, and the peasants are revolting. Thank God we've got Chuckles the Jongler to throw his balls around. I don't think so. That juggling doesn't look so difficult.
Oh, it does not, does it not? Perhaps you feel you could do better, no?
I'll give it a try.
Be my guest.
I had no idea what I was doing. But this guy was obviously an idiot, so how difficult could it be? A lot more difficult than I thought. That's how difficult. Still, it was my big chance to be derided by complete strangers.
Not so easy after all, is it?
No, I guess not. What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Da Vinci
Le
Code.
Templiers? Ah, the last Grand Master, Jacques du Molay, was burnt on an island in the Seine in 1314.
Wow. You're pretty well educated for a juggler.
Jugler.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
This guy.
Have you seen this man before?
No.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
Tourists.
I had no desire to talk. There was a small crowd of 5 sightseers. It's a weird thing, but you can take the most intelligent people in the world, put them in their vacation duds, and hey presto, they look like morons. Why is that?
Hey. Oeh, wat doe ik echt? Shake my hand.
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
It didn't seem right to fry somebody's palm when they make their living with their hands.
Ach hoor.
Hi again.
Oh shit.
Oui? What is it this time?
Look, a red nose.
Ah, you are a clown.
A clown?
No, if so, you would be a much better jongleur.
For a moment, an idea capered around near the spotlight of my attention,
Huh?
but fell down the pothole of abstraction before I could focus on it.
You want me? Can you shoot the clown,
Hello
please?
again, officer.
Hello again, monsieur.
Oeh, een aardige. Zo, dwi'n mynd i chydig ad. A fyddai nôl 3 munud. Dwi'n ôl, ia. A genod. Iawn. Ei, sortio'r clwm allan. Please.
What do you think of the juggler?
Ah, he is excellent, most
No.
watchable.
But he's blocking the thoroughfare and obstructing traffic.
So? He is amusing. The traffic isn't. If he wants to block it, who am I to say no?
You're a cop.
Ah, oui. So I am. Ah, well,
What?
So you're not gonna do anything about this guy.
no.
He probably doesn't even have a license.
Ah, a license. This I had not considered.
So what are you gonna do?
The instant I return to the station, I shall check
Return to the station? Why not just ask him?
and spoil his concentration. What kind of a barbarian do you take me for?
Does this red nose...
Ah,
Do I look...
no. Although you juggle like one. Now, if I'd known you were a clown, it would have been amusing and not a humiliation for you.
What do you mean?
Who ever heard of a plainclothes clown?
He had a point. So you're saying that if I juggle badly with a red nose, I'd be the king of comedy. But if I juggle badly without it...
You look like a pathetic loon. Oui, monsieur, you have it.
I'll see you around.
Oui.
Uh, nee, doe maar. Okay. Sit, and...
Maybe not. Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
I'd like to have another try at juggling.
You have gone on a crash.
No. I just had an insight into presentation.
Okay.
Huh?
Allow me to demonstrate. The balls, please.
If you insist on completing your humiliation, monsieur.
Okay, now for my secret weapon.
Ooh. Oh my
The
god.
juggler was speechless with rage. You could have mistaken him for a mime. And without a word, he collected his balls and left in a fury.
Hey! You forgot one of your balls! Hey!
But he didn't hear. Better still, deprived of his entertainment, the gendarme decided maybe he ought to do some policing for a change. I had no desire to talk to the crowd.
Kalma. Du kan... Eens een kwartje met een fucking bandel hoor. Fucking... Tada! Au revoir! Au revoir! What the hell?
What's a guy supposed to do with a sewer? Don't answer that.
Put it up his ass. What?
On the boat was a winching machine.
Oh, okay. Hook. By hook or by cook?
The hook was held rigidly by the tightly wound chain.
Kijk u voor 300. Up my ass. Wat? Pijn heen dwingen. Pijn er. Heen dwingen. Dinisteren.
The wall had flaked, and anything once written on it had long since gone. The inscription was hard to read, but I made out Templier and something about innocence. Close up, I could see a faded inscription. My medieval French isn't much, but the few words I understood seemed to say, "This is where the gallows used to stand." Maybe.
Okay, så... Fick jag hook, hörni?
The inscription was
Fast det? Hooken är vi. Spreadsheetet. Oh my god, vet du vad din är med? Where are you? Hint. Din är det? Was was du nie ins...
The inscription was undecipherable. The plaster had cracked and was falling away. I wondered why. The inscription was undecipherable. The plaster had I wondered why. Hey, that's hollow. It was time for some brutal destruction.
Oh my god!
Close up, I could see the plaster was thinner where I'd broken through, and behind it were some cogs and a lever.
Ja, een mascara. Is het?
Yep.
Oh.
Hey, cool. Inside the hole, I could see one of the cogs had come loose and jammed the mechanism solid.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Just smell of it. Well, lots with amlwg of yma. What the hell? Gap. Oh, dwi'n mynd i'ch gap fan'na ydy.
In the beginning was the end.
An end wrought by our enemies began our darkness. In the end will be a beginning.
Hey, then.
An end to our enemies heralds our new day.
Report. The military establishments are in flux. The end of the Cold War has left them with no clear goal and as obvious targets for budgetary cuts. We have successfully promoted a sense of betrayal in the upper echelons. They feel that the politicians have cast them adrift. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Good. Mademoiselle?
Mademoiselle.
Governments are giving the corporations more respect than their own citizens. A groundswell of dissatisfaction and dissidence is growing. The corporations are becoming too large and complex for their own executives to control them. A blind belief in market forces is accelerating this trend the world over. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
The global population's belief in those that govern it has never been lower. We have inculcated a sense of immediacy and action over forethought and planning in all the major governments. They are acting on hasty decisions that cannot be completed or revoked without appearing foolish. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Excellent. The tired old governments are dying a slow death from their own incompetence and our machinations. The millennium is almost upon us, and everything is in place for the rise of our new order. Almost. Professor, where is the broken sword?
As we discussed last time, with the loss of the manuscript, our search is as a corollary hindered.
And as discussed last time, you have been furnished with a dramatically increased budget. What have you been doing with our money, Professor?
We are working on the principle that the Templars, that is to say, our predecessors,
Hold on. These are the Templars?
must have left a trail when they were hiding the clues to the sword of Baphomet's location. I have a small army of historians and archaeologists ferreting out that trail.
I trust these historians and archaeologists are more trustworthy than your friend Pegram.
Pegram was loyal. He tried to protect the Lochmarn gem when the Hashashin came near.
And failed. And don't call that Syrian maniac the Hashashin. He's an assassin. Plain and simple.
That's not what he believes. He actually thinks.
Silence! Do I have to remind you that we have a sacred duty? A trust. When Philippe attempted to destroy the Order, we lost the sword and our power with it. Now we have the opportunity to reforge it. But time is short. We need results, not petty bickering, not excuses. Now, Professor Baphomet.
Yes, of course. My apologies. We will find Baphomet and the sword, manuscript or no. We have already found another element actually within Paris.
Excellent. What is it?
Well, we're not exactly sure at present.
Ha!
But I have my best people working on it. You would do well not to criticize others, Eklund. At least I have not murdered one of our own.
Of course. That guy was the bogus doctor in the hospital.
That guy was a liability. Eklund dealt with him on my orders.
I beg your pardon, Grandmaster. I did not mean to.
Have you any good news for us, Professor?
We already know 3 of the elements. We know that Klausner had obtained the lens before he vanished.
Where was he?
Syria. We know that he arrived, but after that, nothing.
The assassin.
I fear so. It's a shame. Klausner was a good operative.
Ooh.
This will be our last meeting in person until we locate the sword of Baphomet. I hope that I don't need to emphasize the importance of finding it. Without it, our endeavors come to nothing. With the sword reforged, we will have the power to sweep the stage of all opposition. The new millennium will belong to us. The next time that we meet, it will be to become the princes of this world!
Goodbye. Gaan we nog kiezen erin koer? Dat die... Wacht. Stop. Dwi yn mynd i cadw hi yn fanna. Dwi'n meddwl. Yn very good cliffhanger. So pwy sy'n ddrwg, pwy sy'n dda, da ni'n gwybod. O, dwi'n gwybod dwi'n chwarae o blaen. Dwi'n mwyn cofio ddo. Eisiau chwarae fo, oedd hwn allan 96, dwi'n eisiau chwarae fo yn y 2001, 2002. A... Na, do, eisiau chwarae fo. Na, 98, 99. Anyway. Templars yn ddrwg. Assassins yn ddrwg. George Stowbat yn ddrwg. Person. Mae pob yn y gêm yn ddrwg. Nico yn ddrwg. Mae pob yn ddrwg. Neu beth bwysica i ni ddysgu fe. So neb da yn y byd yma. Ac ar hynna, mynd. Ewch chi, tro nesa.